Well, I think they owe me big time here.
Mm.
Well, it is live on Facebook, so I don't know what's going on here. It says it's live, so I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna go. I don't know what's happening here. Anyways, welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. We're a purpose before profit group that tries to give back, tries to help out. Scrolling along the bottom is our Osler office hours. We've partnered with them to give that free advice at their office for anything on mental health, on business development, anything at all. Please reach out, and we're there to help. I have gotten to know these two girls a little while ago. I've been a fan of Sheena and Tianna, of what you've done and what you've created. I am the world's worst fashion guy, other than my shoes. That's it. That's all I got. Maybe a pair of funky glasses, but I'm excited to have you on the show. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
Great.
Wow, as we were talking before, kids are back at school. We get our lives back, right? I know I'm excited for that. So
Yeah.
yes.
Back to routine.
Yes, and again, my first show, I always kind of have two seasons: a kickoff in January and the kickoff after summer. So I'm excited to start talking about a little bit of fashion and how you're going to change the industry. What I would like to do, and I love hearing these founder stories. How you two met, how you became potential for. Were you friends first, and then how did you say, you know what, let's start a fashion company?
Yeah, I can start. So, yeah, a little bit about my background. So, I've kind of been in the startup world for the last 6 or so years. I actually have a communications degree, but I minored in innovation entrepreneurship, and that's where I really kind of fell in love with the startup world. I worked at a cool Calgary-based company called Inspired Go for a while. I was the director of operations and expansion there. Super cool experience. And then I really wanted to get into tech in Calgary. It was booming. I was really interested in it. So I pivoted over to a company called Flamingo, which recently got bought, but it was a fintech company based in Calgary. And that's where I met Sheena. So one of the co-founders is married to Sheena. So Sheena and I met at a few of your typical like work events, Christmas parties, things like that. And when things were kind of coming to an end for me for Flamingo, the co-founder reached out and said, hey, like Sheena has this business idea. She's been kind of thinking about, I think you two would be really amazing co-founders. Would you want to go for a coffee? And so, yeah, we met at Neighbors Coffee in Marda Loop, and I can kind of pass it off to Sheena to talk a little bit about where the idea for LEWK kind of came from, because that's really the infancy point for us.
Yes. So I can start with a little intro about myself. I have a business degree from the University of Calgary, and I've worked at the intersection of business and tech for the majority of my career. I was in software consulting, doing product management roles. After I had my son in 2020, I decided that I didn't want to go back to my corporate job, and I wanted to try something else, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was always interested in like the tech startup space, but I didn't have any ideas at the moment. So I began working with a handful of clients, doing consulting for them. A few of my clients were in the fashion e-commerce space. So I was working with a fashion stylist, and then I was working with a few smaller e-commerce retail brands. And during my time working with these clients, I noticed that there was a gap in the e-commerce experience, particularly while shopping for clothing. And the fashion stylist that I was helping was essentially personalizing and curating the online shopping experience for women who had gone through a major lifestyle change and kind of were looking for that voice of authority to help them feel confident and empowered through clothing. So either they just had a baby, they were dressing for a promotion, maybe they'd gone through a divorce, so they just needed that extra support. And the online shopping journey was overwhelming, especially over COVID. We saw retailers like H&M, like they've 4x'd the amount of product they have on their e-commerce storefront. So for someone looking for clothing, you're now scrolling through thousands of products, and it's so overwhelming. There's decision paralysis. You don't really know how to pair items together. And so the problem that she was solving was very personal for me because I also had just had a baby and I was kind of going through that same lifestyle change where I didn't really feel confident in how to dress anymore. Like my body had changed and I was just like, I don't know how to put outfits together anymore. So I was like, the value proposition of the fashion stylist was very neat that she was offering like this virtual offering for women in the form of a styling membership. But her service offering was very, very manual. And her service was also very generic. It wasn't personalized to the individual client. And so that's kind of where I approached Tianna and I said, I think there's a problem to be solved here. And I think we can personalize and curate the online shopping experience and use tech to scale it up. And that's how LEWK was essentially born. And around that same time, we saw the commercialization of AI technology through OpenAI, and a few other models were coming to the forefront. And so, our thesis was we could use an LLM to enhance and curate the personal or the online shopping experience for women or anyone really.
So that makes sense, right? Coming into COVID, people aren't allowed to go to stores, can't go shopping, still want to buy things, still want to, have our top up type thing, right? Or whatever it may be. And I know obviously, we shopped online obviously a little bit more. Have you seen that trend continue, or have you seen people actually say, okay, you know what? I want to go back to the mall. I want to put on that shirt. I want to put on that blouse or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the e-commerce landscape is here to stay. Like
Oh
people
yeah.
love online shopping because of the convenience of it. So when Sheena first approached me, we spent like 6 months conducting customer discovery because although she had this really amazing experience working with this virtual stylist, we wanted to validate that like what she was seeing with this virtual stylist was what was really, a lot of other women in particular were having. So we must have conducted in the span of about 6 months, like probably 200 customer discovery conversations, everything from individual conversations to group conversations to watching people shop online. So we really started to understand the types of people that love online shopping. And the type of person that we noticed right away was busy millennial moms. So just like Sheena said, like she's working, she's raising a child, she is not keeping up with fashion trends, she doesn't have time to go to the store and spend time to park, walk around the mall, figure out how to piece together outfits. It's very, very time consuming, let alone spending money on a virtual stylist. So we were just conducting again more discovery in the styling space. And they're really expensive. It's about $800 or so for, let's say, like a 4-hour session. And I think what we're doing is not taking away from a stylist. Like I talked in a few of my videos about having a stylist is an amazing experience for women. And what we're building is an AI virtual stylist. And people who have that disposable income, they're always going to go maybe once or twice a year to get that support from a virtual stylist or an in-person stylist. We're just the type of product right now where you can basically access it at any time. So not at all times are you going to need an in-person stylist unless you have a ton of disposable income, but we're really targeting like busy millennial women that just need that voice of authority and support kind of throughout their day-to-day life. So I think really where our sweet spot is in that online shopping space for busy millennial women that just really need that support to piece together outfits and find what they're looking for quickly and easily.
Anything to add there, Sheena?
Yeah, I will say, we're calling it a stylist, but essentially what we're building is an enhanced recommendation tool. So when someone is online shopping right now, if they've clicked on a particular product, they'd see you've clicked on this, so you may also like, and it'll point out a few products that they might like. The issue with that right now is that it uses similarity to do that recommendation. And what we're essentially building is a recommendation algorithm that's going to look at compatibility. So it's going to look at pairing complementary items in terms of an entire outfit.
Okay.
Versus like if I've clicked on a black dress and it's just going to show me like 3 other black dresses. We're focused on building an entire outfit recommendation for our customer.
And again, obviously the buzzword in the last few years has been AI. Obviously chat GPT, I use it all the time to make me sound smarter. I need all the help I can get to help me write, to do all those types of things. So, how does that work in the fashion world? Like how long does somebody actually have to, go through, for anybody that wants to, find out more information, just click on the LEWK's website, shopthelook.com. It's in the comment section and you can start the process there. How long does it take for somebody or the AI to figure out my fashion sense? Like preferably not mine because it's awful, but if somebody has some taste, how long would it take?
So our tagline is we find you an outfit in 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And that being said, like we've launched we're like very early in our product development. So we have like a personalization roadmap, and we're very early in our personalization roadmap. So eventually, when you come on and you prompt the stylist, we want to know everything about you, your body shape, your size, your style preferences, etc. And then so we're able to build you a really great outfit recommendation. At the moment, we just want our users to get an understanding of what it's like to work with AI and how we can build you an outfit. Although it's going to be personalized to the prompt you've entered. I'm looking for a date night outfit. I'm looking for a New York City spring outfit, etc. It's going to be personalized to that extent, but we are still building out the rest of the personalization in the terms of we're going to know your body shape and style preferences, etc.
Yeah.
Let's actually dive into the product and maybe a little more of how you just expand on what you said. How, what kind of prompts do you use if Mrs. Alberts wants to walk in and buy a new outfit and she finds, shopthelook.com, tell us how this is, going to work exactly, and some of the prompts and things like that.
Yeah, so we actually we're running on 2 service offerings right now. So I can talk to you a little bit about our journey because I think that paints a picture as to what the product really is. So after Sheena and I conducted a ton of that customer discovery, we ended up building a pretty scrappy little MVP product. We ended up, because Sheena and I are both non-technical founders, we wanted to build something super quick and easy and fairly affordable. And so we were working with a dev agency in Calgary called Breeze Learn Technologies. Founder Nikhil Betty, he reached out. Just so happened at that time we were trying to find some sort of like technical team to help us build like our first product. We knew we wanted to bring on an internal team later down the road, but ultimately we were like, how can we just get something out into the market and like test? So basically last year, June of 2023, Breeze Learn helped us build our first direct-to-consumer product, which is just what we were talking about, an AI-powered virtual fashion stylist where you could prompt it for, let's say, an occasion-based outfit, like I'm looking for a date night outfit or I'm looking for a business event outfit, and it would create these shoppable mood boards that you could shop directly from. So we built that product. It was done in like fall of 2023. We did a little launch kind of with more friends and family. We just wanted to get initial feedback on the product, and it was all quite positive. We got really good feedback, really good constructive feedback as well. And during that kind of solution testing, we also partnered with a really cool company called Inclusivity Testing based in Calgary. And for those of you listening who haven't heard much of Inclusivity, we found a ton of value in their testing. So basically what happened is Sheena and I were like flies on the wall in a video call, and basically they had an interviewer interviewing someone as they were walking through our product. So we got to really see firsthand, like basically like 45 minutes of direct feedback from a specific user of our product. And we had, I think, like 5 sessions with Inclusivity and got to watch 5 testers walk through our product. So we had a really good idea as to what were some things that people were really liking about the product, what were some things that were missing from the product. And so that was really interesting. And then on top of it, we also started solution testing with retailers, because between Sheena and I were like, this is a really cool product. It's like a cross-shopping product, like our direct-to-consumer product is. But we also see a potential opportunity in the B2B space working specifically with retailers. And so we started talking to retailers, solution testing with retailers, and they loved the product. Like, we had really amazing solution testing conversations with these retailers. We got them to try our direct-to-consumer product. And the main thing that we heard from them is, we love this product, but could we have it on our own storefront with our own products? And so, we decided to make a bit of a pivot as of January of 2024. We hired our own internal development team. And for the last 7 months, we've really been focusing on building out our B2B product. It is much more challenging than our direct-to-consumer product because it's only based off of a specific retailer's product catalog. So we've been doing a ton of innovating, a ton of R&D on the B2B side of things. We got 2 retailers to pilot with us, which has been tremendously supportive of this journey. Shop Woven, which is an Ontario-based brand, and then Bellisma Fashions. They're all across Canada, but based in Calgary. So we've been piloting on their internal sandbox, which has been super exciting. But at the same time, Sheena and I, we had this hilarious conversation where we're talking to Nikhil Betty. Actually, I'll throw out his name because he's been super tremendously helpful from BreezeLearn. And he's like, you've been spending the last 7 months working on this B2B product, and there's a ton of opportunity there. Like, keep moving forward. But you have this direct-to-consumer product that's just like sitting on the shelf. Like, why don't you do something with it? And so Sheena and I walked away from the conversation. Within 1 week, we launched it because we're like, we want to know how people use this AI virtual stylist. Like, what types of features are they looking for? We can iterate a lot quicker because the gatekeeper is not the retailer, it's ourselves. So we launched this direct-to-consumer product to really get user feedback. And then we also want it for training data for our B2B product. So we kind of are running with these 2 really cool service offerings, essentially doing the same thing. Like Sheena said, it's an advanced recommendation tool that helps people find like their perfect outfit in seconds. And it's all occasion based. So they're very similar products. And we have now an internal tech team that's building kind of both products in tandem. And we're able to kind of like test and iterate with both products at the same time.
Well, I mean, and a big shout out to Nick. I'm a big fan of Nick. He's important, a very important person in our ecosystem, especially in the life science world, what he does. And anybody, I've got his website up there, breezelearn.com. If you need any advice and anything on starting a product and getting an MVP to market, highly recommend reaching out to Nick. Honest, been an entrepreneur, understands your trials and tribulations, as you said. So that is interesting, like especially getting five people to give you feedback almost in a live setting. There must have been a lot of info come out of that.
Yeah.
How shocking was the feedback? Like, did you expect it? Was it like, whoa, shit, I never thought, whoa, I didn't think that ever, right?
I wouldn't say anything was a particular shock. I think Tianna and I we're hard on ourselves when it comes to our own product. So anything anyone ever says to us, we've said and thought it first. And sometimes we're like, okay, I think we just need to put this out now. Like, we're being maybe too perfectionist. Like, we need to start getting it in the hands of people, at least just so that they can understand what the experience is. And I think we always caveat, like, again, right now, after the second launch of the direct-to-consumer product, feedback has been like very important to us, and everything we do is always customer centric. And so right now, if someone's using our product, and we'll reach out to them and be like, hey, do you have time for a chat? And one of us will jump on a chat with them to collect feedback. And a lot of the conversation is is, I prompted, but maybe I didn't get what I was looking for. And I think the conversation is usually like, we understand that maybe it's not perfect right now, but we want you to understand what the experience is, so that a year from now, when it's giving like excellent product recommendations, you can kind of vision what that would be.
Yeah.
I think that's such a good point, right? I mean, we've had this conversation about the entrepreneurial journey, and you guys have been on an interesting one, right? Uh, just getting that product out there and getting it in the hands of people, and getting 5 people to give you feedback is obviously very positive. And most entrepreneurs are very hard on themselves, and they want perfection before they put their whatever it be, tech or CPG. It doesn't matter what it is, they always want perfection. But the importance of getting it out there and getting the feedback and listening to what people have to say, and what they like and don't like, can really change how you move forward.
Yeah, I think it's the whole saying. I think I'm going to butcher the saying, but like, if you're not embarrassed by your first product, you launch too late. So that's really what Sheena and I just keep thinking about, is we just needed to get it out there. And even in the last 3 weeks since we launched our direct to consumer product, like all these really, Jade, you reached out to us to do this podcast. Like we're having unique opportunities and people reaching out. So it kind of opens up a lot of different doors for us. And yeah, I think it's been really exciting. I think one thing is, we're still looking for tons and tons of feedback on our product. So just a shout out to people to try out the product, because I think at the end of the day, like Sheena said, it's not a perfect product. But what's kind of cool is over the weekend, we had a day where we were having some technical issues and it wasn't working well. And we had so many people reaching out to us, like friends who use it like almost every day. Like, hey, what's going on with LEWK? Like, it's not working. And so for us, like, that's huge validation that if our product isn't working in someone's life, if it's taken away from them, like they're disgruntled. So there's just like another form of validation in that like what we're trying to do is solving a pain point for a lot of people. And like Sheena said, we are so customer centric. So when we talk to potential customers or actual customers right now on feedback, like we make sure that we're not just taking the first set of feedback and being like, okay, for sure, like this needs to be a new feature. We're really talking to as many people as possible, figuring out what is like the trending feedback, especially from a feature perspective, and then building that into the product with our tech team. So that's been super fun because what we're learning from our direct to consumer product is also helping us tremendously on the B2B product as well with retailers.
And what are retailers saying? Like, you're getting in with these brands, and I guess number one, why didn't they have it themselves, or they just don't think that far ahead, or they don't have the time, or they whatever. I'm sure you can expand on that, but what are they saying about your product, and how is it helping them?
I think every retailer we've spoken to understands the value proposition like very clearly. It's about having the capability in-house to build and iterate on something like this. It's new technology. Working on projects like this can be a bit of a risk for a company internally. So I think that's where it makes sense to look for a service provider that could provide the AI styling function like us. In terms of what they're saying about the product, we've had our 2 pilots do some sandbox testing, and they really like it. And I think some of the feedback that we got out of the pilots again was, because we're using AI, sometimes the experience is great and sometimes it wasn't so great. And so now we've gone back to the drawing board with our team to kind of think through how we're going to approach making a streamlined experience for every time a customer is going to interact with the AI. It's going to be consistent. It's going to be somewhat personalized based on their user input, etc. So we're kind of reworking the B2B experience in the background right now, and once we're ready, we'll be launching that.
It's gonna be exciting.
I'd also add, Jade, what's kind of interesting about our product, because when people initially look at our product, it's like an AI virtual stylist, and that's really like the value add for retailers, is to personalize their online storefronts for their customers. But it's interesting, when talking to retailers, is through our product, there is tons of customer insights that are derived from our product that they don't currently have access to. So we had a really good conversation with a retailer who kind of painted out the picture for them is, when someone walks into a store and says, hey, I'm looking for a date night outfit, or hey, I'm looking for a blue, I don't know, chiffon dress, like whatever it might be, and they don't have it in store, the customer walks out. But that sales associate, most stores, from what we've now understood, is they end up writing down what people are coming in and asking for. And they'll know, like, at the end of the week, okay, X amount of people asked for this specific product. This is how many people walked out. And they kind of have really interesting customer data. Whereas when you're on an online storefront, there's not a ton of insight as to why a customer dropped off. And so with our product, when a customer's actually chatting and asking our stylist for specific products or specific occasion-based outfit recommendations, we can track a ton of customer sentiment data, item requests, themes, and that's really, really valuable for retailers as well. So that's what we're also learning. And so that's what we're kind of, that's on our roadmap, is figuring out the customer insight play on a product like ours.
Oh, I think that's pretty cool, and I'm excited to watch I've been watching your journey for a while, as I said, and I'm excited to watch, what's going to do and where you're going to go. So, speaking of that, what is next for LEWK?
Yeah, I can take that. I think we're just continuing to add new features to our direct to consumer product, because, like I said, the direct to consumer product and our B2B product, we're wanting to figure out a way for those two products to kind of work in tandem. And so when we're working with that direct to consumer product, we're just going to try to collect as much feedback as possible. We have an amazing young team of developers that are like hungry to learn and build really cool things. So we have a massive list of features that we're really excited about launching kind of continuously over the next 6 months to a year on our direct to consumer product. And then we're just doing a ton of R&D on our B2B product, really innovating on that in that space, and hoping to go live here really quickly with the retailers that we've been piloting with, and then trying to just connect with more retailers who are interested in a product like this. Ultimately, the more people that we can connect with and chat with, the more that we can kind of show them our product and show the value add that we know this product has for their customers.
Anything to add, Sheena?
No, I think Tianna said it perfectly.
Well, that's good. Great minds think alike, obviously, right? You guys are on the same page. Like you're
Always,
dialed in.
yeah.
Well, that's all. And I'm excited. You've actually given me an idea to. You never know when ideas pop up, but I think probably maybe in the new year we should have a fashion month, and then any other companies in Alberta that have been in the fashion world should come on, and by that time you guys be able to give us an update.
Yes, let's do it.
I've never had a fashion month before. I've had a crypto month, I've had a life science month, I've had different months, mental health months, but I've never had a fashion month.
Okay, well, we're in on it with you, so let's do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to make sure our daughters never see those that month's episodes of telling it like it is.
Yeah, it might be a little expensive for you.
Yeah, it's gonna cost me way too much money.
Yeah.
Well, this is good. This is again exciting for anybody that wants more information. shopthelewk.com. It's in the comment section. Just click on it. I'm always sad when these conversations come to an end, because they're always, I know fashion isn't in my blood, but something that I've seen you kind of take, reiterate, struggle, look at raising capital, do the things of every entrepreneur, and finally get to a point where you're testing with retailers. So kudos to you on your journey and the strength that you two have had to stay positive and put this on course and make it a business and a product. So that congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Jade. You've also been tremendously helpful since the day we met. So thank you so much for all the support and having us on here.
Oh, thank you for the kind words. And I can't believe it was your first podcast. Like I
know.
I'm blown away. Like we'll have to get we'll get you on Tyler's, on Sep's,
Yeah,
everybody's.
now. We'll start we'll start popping around to all the podcasts after this one for sure.
Yeah, you just need one, and now you're like, now it's like, I need more.
Yeah.
But I always look forward to this question. I'm always excited about the answers that I get, because it's such a wide variety of experiences that founders have had over their journey. So Sheena, let's start with you. If you had one piece of advice for a startup or entrepreneur, what would that be?
I would say just be authentically you. I think, especially as I talked about my experience, like after mat leave, and I noticed a problem in my life about how to look put together, how to look effortlessly chic without after a body change, not having the time. And, I stumbled across this problem that I found, and now I'm working on it. And I get to solve this problem for other women who also may be having the same problem. So I would just say be authentically you.
I love it. Tianna?
Yeah, I would say this is gonna be a little contradictory, but our big thing is like we have leaned on, especially the Calgary community, for support and advice pretty much since the day we started, and it's been tremendously helpful, and it's really gotten us to where we are. So I would say to any entrepreneur, like lean on your community and don't feel afraid to ask questions. We've asked so many, even when sometimes you feel super dumb, but no one ever makes you feel that way, which is great. But I'd also say like be very critical. Of different people's opinions, because I think everyone is going to give you amazing advice, but your business best. And so what we've really tried to do in the last like 6 months is we have some really key people in our life that we go to for advice who really understand our business and understand us as founders. And that's been tremendously helpful. So we still are constantly getting advice from people, but we're just being not so much critical of their advice, but critical as how we move forward. And that's been tremendously helpful for us, is like just feeling more confident in ourselves and knowing that like we're going to make the right decision and it's going to be the right decision for us. So just, I think, trusting in yourself, leaning on your community, but also just, not trying. I think for a long time, we were just constantly trying to find advice from everyone on every decision we made. And now I think between Sheena and I, we just feel really confident in where we're at and where we want to go.
I love that. And I don't think they're contradictory at all. I mean, first of all, I mean, our community in Alberta is like none other around the world. Like it is, the support that you can get here is just unbelievable. But I do love the fact, and I talk about this a lot, is that you can go out there and ask for advice and get advice and listen to 1, 2, 10, 15 people. But in the end, you have to believe that the decision you make is the best interest of and it doesn't matter what anybody else says. And even at Pure Guidance, when we finish our meetings and we have these things and we're talking about the takeaways from it, we always stress that if everything we talked about here you don't feel good about, make the right decision that you feel best is for your company, because in the end, your company the best and yourselves the best. And that is the most important thing moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh man, that was awesome. What a great conversation. Thank you, Sheena and Tianna, for coming on. And again, for giving Nick a shout out. Again, I'm a huge fan of them, seen them help a lot. Again, breezelearn.com is in the comment section. shopthelook.com is in there. Click on it. You'll go right to the website. If you need any help and any guidance, just come sit down with us at Osler. And of course, I forgot at the beginning to give Startup TNT a shout. The next summit is open. Applications are out there if you're looking to raise capital. And even the importance of networking, as Sheena and Tianna said, get out there, talk to people, meet people. You never know where a good idea or a door will be opened when you're networking. So, wow, this was an incredible conversation. I hope everybody enjoys their rest of their Wednesday. And Sheena and Tianna, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story, sharing your journey. And I look forward to Fashion Month here coming in 2025.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys their day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.